We'll move to number 16, State Route 20 Corridor Improvements Project Phase 2, again presented by Diana Langley, Interim City Manager and also Public Works Director.
All right. So in 2017, the city utilized a community design grant through SACOG. It was $100,000 to improve the median on Highway 20 between Clark and Stafford. And I think even today that median still provides a lot of aesthetic, it's very aesthetically pleasing as you're driving down the corridor. And so in 2019, council authorized the city manager to execute an MOU with SACOG to receive an additional $100,000 through the community design program. And so we're before you tonight based upon council's request previously to identify options available for the utilization of not only the $100,000, but there's a 10% match requirement. And so I have three options to discuss tonight and are hoping to get direction from council in terms of which option you'd like to continue with. So option one is Highway 20, and you have Clark Avenue to the west, Orange to the east, and $135 is available for this project. And so what $135 would get you is to improve the center median. If you also wanted to include along the north and south side of the street, that would be an additional approximately $115,000 for a total cost of $250,000. But just the center median would be approximately $135,000. So that includes design, construction, construction management, all of it. And the aesthetic would be very similar to the median between Stafford and Clark. Option two would be to complete the section between Stafford and Clark. And so again, Highway 20, Stafford, Clark, here's the median that's been improved. So we would actually remove the asphalt on the north side of the street where the former planter was filled in. And also along the south side, there's a wide enough sidewalk there, you can remove a portion of that and create the planter again. And so this would complete this section where you would have not only the median, but then also the landscaping on the north and south side. It would not take away from existing driveways. The trees would be such that you would be able to see vehicles. If you're waiting to turn out of one of the driveways, you'd be able to see oncoming vehicles. And also the intent would be not to obstruct signage. Option three would be to improve the median. So this one's a little bit different. It's the median between Highway 20 eastbound and the frontage road. So here's Wheeler, and then you've got Shasta, Kiley, and then the on-ramp. And so that median right now is like a stamped brick with a little bit of landscaping, but this would enhance it further. If you wanted to do this whole section in terms of what's shown here, that cost would be an estimated $300,000. So $135,000 for this portion, with $165,000 if you wanted to also address these portions as well. And I should note this is Dutch Brothers, and so this portion has already been completed and that landscaping shown right here. So each proposed improvement option is estimated to cost approximately $135,000, including the design, construction, 10% contingency. So as noted, we do have funding in the account. So $100,000 of the community design money from SACOG. There's $35,000 of Transportation Development Act funds. And then there is $91,000 of general fund available in that account if council so chose to spend general fund money on this project. With that, I'm requesting direction from council in terms of the option that you would like to proceed with.
Any questions for Ms. Langley?
Through the mayor. Ms. Langley, I appreciate all the information, but as far as linear feet, I mean, we got the different options. Do we continue from the entry point of Highway 99 working back towards the 10th Street Bridge, or do we, take the entry point of coming from Marysville and 10th Street Bridge and do that section in front of Wheeler? I ask in linear feet because I'm trying to figure out what's going to give us the biggest bang for our buck. Where can we spend the 135 and get more coverage? Because if it's an ideal world, I'd love to do it all, and make the whole Calusa Avenue look great. But which section will give us more coverage is what I'm trying to ask.
It's a matter of how you look at it. If you look at this section between Clark and Orange, it's in the center median, and so people will see it driving both directions. Versus option 3, it's in the, adjacent to the eastbound lane. And so really you have traffic going eastbound that's going to get the benefit of that. Going back to option 2, where you have a completed section, again, that's going to cover both directions of traffic. And it's about the same length as the section between Clark and Orange. So if you're just looking at straight linear footage, it's really option 3 is a little bit longer, but they are pretty equivalent in terms of length. So it's just perspective in terms of how would you like to approach it?
All right, thank you.
Through the mayor, once the project is completed, I noticed typically there's a lot of trash that blows through that corridor. Does the city, moving forward, maintain that?
The city, yes. So one of the things with Caltrans, as we get the encroachment permit, is they require that the city enter into a maintenance agreement, where then we do the maintenance of the improvements. So if you'll notice on the section between Stafford and Clark, it's very maintenance friendly in terms of the types of materials. You've got the mix of hardscape with some decomposed granite. The plantings don't require a lot of maintenance in terms of trimming and things like that. So we do try to take into account, you don't want things that are going to necessarily accumulate a lot of debris. And so there's a slight slope on this too. So we do try to take into account as low maintenance as possible. And then the city does have a contract with a landscape contractor to go in periodically and do the cleaning and the trimming.
Thank you.
Mayor. Diana, I really love each one. It's kind of like Vice Mayor Shaw said, where do you get the most bang for the money? I guess when I'm driving around town, that Clark Avenue to Orange, there's on the corner of Clark and Highway 20, potentially what's going to go in there?
Well, that's a good question. We've had an application for a Circle K gas station coffee shop. I've also seen, I can see Ben wants to get up here and talk about what's going to go up there. There's also been discussion of a coffee shop. And so I don't know that any plans are necessarily finalized, because I think there's still some discussion, and Ben might want to come up here and provide more information. But we haven't seen a project finalized. Do you want to add anything, Ben?
So the Planning Commission approved a Circle K Starbucks, a Circle K coffee shop. A Starbucks has been submitted and it's going through the plan process, and they've applied to Caltrans for a drive-through driveway access out to that. So they've just demoed the bent prop, demoed the old Chevron station, and they're working through the coffee shop with a tenant improvement, where the Circle K's gone away, but it looks like right now it's working towards that direction. With those plans, there'll be some landscaping along the frontage of that property that will match this theme. Definitely pros and cons of each. I would tell you that the couple medium projects that I've done with a different hat on, 99 and this one with Stafford, is that they're a pain, but they look pretty and they get a lot of notice.
Thank you, Ben. So I'm leaning towards Exhibit A or B. Police.
Yeah, while we're discussing, like has already been said, all three of them have a lot of merit, and wish we could do all three as well. But if we're being asked tonight to decide one, I'm leaning towards option 2 for the primary reason that it completes that section. We're not leaving something half done and moving on to somewhere else. Also, that frontage there on Highway 20 between Clark and Stafford, especially on the north side, needs some serious help, and I think this would add to that. I think for now, of course, hopefully everything is in our future plans, but if we're asked to make a decision tonight, that would be my inclination for those reasons.
I have a question, and it regards the, I'm going to call them street trees, for lack of a better term, I guess. Are we responsible for those, or are the people that own the property that they front on responsible for those?
Well, that's one thing, is that we could request to have those properties join into a lighting and landscape maintenance district for the maintenance of those trees. As of right now, there haven't been discussions related to that. We haven't approached property owners about that, but that would be something we could do, is approach them to see if they'd be willing to participate in a lighting and landscape maintenance district, because we would be, improving the frontage along their property. However, I will say with that, there are businesses that are concerned about, you're going to block the view of my signage, you're going to block the view of my business. And so we've really got to, with our landscape architect, we've tried to take that into consideration in terms of, wanting the ability for customers to see the business and to be able to safely ingress and egress the site, but still, improve that corridor and the aesthetics of that corridor.
Okay, thank you. I know that corridor has been a long-standing issue with some of its appearance, and those folks that do design work consistently point out how they are concerned about that appearance. So I've heard an option 2, and I heard an exhibit. I'm not sure whether you meant option or exhibit, Councilwoman.
I'm sorry, I meant exhibit A and B were part of the options. I think in option 1 has exhibit A, and then option 2 has exhibit E. So I'm not answering the question on the options. I'm answering the questions based on the exhibits.
Okay.
So Councilwoman Espandola is looking at the staff report.
Right.
So in the staff report, exhibit A is the section between Clark and Orange. So that's equivalent to option 1.
Okay.
And exhibit B is the section between Stafford and Clark, which is the equivalent to option 2.
So did you have a preference?
I'm good with either one.
Okay. Councilman Kirchner.
Yeah, what do? You want to get the most?
Welcome aboard.
Yeah, right? At some point, hopefully, these are all going to be done, which they will be. If I did have a preference, I think I would go with the second one. Yeah.
Okay. Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Actually, after listening to everything, I would go with option 1, and which would be the center of the median between Clark and Orange. And my concerns would be some kind of programmed way that we beautify Calusa Avenue and finish those medians out all the way to the 10th Street Bridge. And then back to the mayor's point, at that point in time, then let's go back and talk to the businesses, because we really need their input and their concerns to create that tree and lighting district there, to look at the beautification, because I'm uncomfortable going forward with a plan that businesses would have concerns over. So I would be in favor of doing the median all the way first, and then going back with a comprehensive plan to finish out the outsides all the way down.
Guess I get to be the tiebreaker. I'm an option 2 person. I think we finished the unfinished product. To the Vice Mayor's point of view, as that next options come up, I think that's when we tackle whether or not we burden the businesses with a lighting and landscaping district.
So are you with the Vice Mayor? So you said option 2.
That option right there, the
Okay,
one
so-
that Councilman Harris was.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
we have 3.5.
That was actually one of my preferences.
Okay. We'll give it 4 then.
Okay, so we will proceed with the design of option 2. We will also reach out to the property owners, just in terms of maintenance. When you look at this, this landscaping maintenance spread over those properties, I don't see it being a significant cost, but we will make contact with them and coordinate, make sure that we reach out to them with the design as well, before we bring this back to council for approval of plans and specs. Okay? All right, thank you.
All right. Do we have any public comment on this item?
We do actually have one public comment
Okay.
from Ken Hall. He also supports option 2.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Hall. All right. As mentioned earlier, and I may need some guidance from the city attorney here on item 17, we don't need to discuss this, just to note that it was pulled.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. That'd be perfectly fine. Also, were you planning on providing formal vote direction or just oral direction to staff on item 16?
I think we were requested for oral communication. I think she received it.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay. The next item for us is the special meeting, but before I do that, I do want to acknowledge our city clerk. It's her first meeting, official meeting, being here. Also want to acknowledge Supervisor-elect Carm Baines for being in the audience this evening. Welcome. When's your day, sir? Birthday, January 5th. All right. We'll look forward to that.